Hello, welcome to another film talk broadcast. Basically, again, it's an open platform for people who are interested in film, who perhaps need ideas to get them motivated to start filming. When it comes to filming, you always need to be motivated because of your experience level, the amount of resources you have. All of these things require motivation, and it's very competitive as well when you're interested in filmmaking. So you have to put yourself in a situation where you're able to film, start out with very simple ideas, or what I do is start out with a complex idea and then break it down because you want to expand your mind what you would dream of doing, and then being realistic about what you can do. And it's great to watch videos on Vimeo and other filmmakers, um, local filmmakers, how they use the art of storytelling. The whole idea of storytelling is communicating an idea. And sometimes you don't necessarily have the resources, but how you edit down a film or the scene, the way you capture scenes, it can get your point across. One thing my film teacher said in film 3 was, don't say it, show it. Because sometimes people try to incorporate in the dialogue. She's sitting there because she's upset because, people can understand basically what the character is going through. Sometimes they don't, because sometimes you'll read a book and then you see the movie, and from what you read in the book and the scene, you didn't get that from it, what the book was saying. So, and you realize that your imagination is better than any movie that you will ever see. Because everyone can read a book and see things that other people who read the book did not see. So that's another thing. So I'm interested in people who are starting out in filmmaking, who have a variety of resources. I think it's all about that final cut, how you edit it down, the look. It's all about the feel, the look. And that's what makes the film, the sound, and understanding how to use particular sound effects. Foley artists are great because they can, you think that you're listening to a horse galloping, and it's not the actual horse sound. It's something that a Foley artist had created. So people do rely on their senses when they watch your film. So that is why we always talk about something called room tone. So say you are filming the voiceover in a specific location, but the actual scene is outside. So you want to get the outside sound and incorporate it with what you recorded, so that the sound of the film can be quite realistic. The coloring is everything too. I see some like crystal clear, beautiful colorings in films, and it's the knowledge of lighting, white balance, understanding all the different, understanding everything on the camera, what everything on the camera does in regards to the image. And also when you go to edit it down, a lot of these editing programs also allow you to control the tones and the lighting. There's a lot of work into that. And most people I speak to who have edited movies that look fantastic often say they spent hours editing. So either they knew what they were doing when they filmed it, and they especially knew what they were doing when they edited the film down. But say you're the individual, you're just learning, and all of this sounds just too complicated, and you just want to get your idea out. There's something called a table reading. If you have dialogue in your film, it's good to schedule table readings. And speaking to writers, my goal is to copyright. Start learning copyright laws. Start keeping money, putting the money aside to copyright what you write, because you're going to have to share your material in order to get the actors to perform it. So I'm working on that too, working on copywriting everything, because I write a lot, and I share the ideas. So it's good to get. You have to cover all your bases as a filmmaker. You have to get your release forms. You have to get permission. You have to get. There's so many bases to cover, and gradually you get it all covered. That's why it's good to follow some websites that give you ideas on how to protect yourself as a filmmaker, how to express yourself as a filmmaker, and also how to network. Because as soon as you can work on a set, it's the best thing for you. Because you can learn the language, you can see how they get from A to Z, you know. And I also read in a book that it's really advisable to also, as a filmmaker, to do acting, because that way you can also understand what the actors go through. Because the saddest part for actors, I've been on one set or two where the actors were frustrated. So it's basically actors not understanding all the work the filmmaker has to do behind the scene, the producer has to do behind the scene, and then producers not understanding what the actor needs to feel comfortable, and to understand and how to keep them occupied while everything's being set up. Because when you get a nice looking film, there's a lot of setup in it. There's a lot of people that have to make sure all the equipment is working together. That's why some people think it's just action, but no, they don't just say action. They go camera rolling, sound. They check everybody, and once everybody's on the same together, they can start actually filming. Sound is ready. They test down. All the cameras are ready. They're rolling, and then they actually say action. So it's a lot of collaboration, and everyone has to be in sync. So then the actors come in, and sometimes the actors don't come in, they have a stand-in, someone about the same height standing in, while perhaps the actors rehearsing their lines. So, just start, if you're not making films, and perhaps there's some people that don't know how to edit, but they want to create films. Start out by creating a 30 seconds can seem like a very short time in general. But in actuality, it's longer than you think in film time to me. Because you can do more than you think in 30 seconds. It teaches you to express an idea, a very concrete idea, in a short period of time. It's a great mental creative exercise to create a short film, because every film has different parts to it: the beginning, the action, the situation, and the ending. So every story has parts to it. So if you start doing it on a small level, 1 minute, that's great exercise. So just start writing out ideas and filming them in short periods of time. Because what tends to happen with new filmmakers is that they make long films and they're not concrete. The story is saying pretty much a lot of nothing, or saying too much and not giving the viewer time to use their own creativity and perceive, and to find something to see and entertain their eyes and their ears. So sometimes movies can be too long. In many cases, like film contests, they often tell you to keep it short. Because like this expression I learned in film too is called killing your darlings, meaning that yeah, you liked all these little pieces, so you like that part, but you have to just stick to something that narrow it down and something that you really like and just share that part. You can't always share everything that you filmed. And that's the hardest thing to do is to break down your film because all of the work that comes into it and you like everything. So you can't use everything that you film. And that's something that you have to you exercise self-control when it comes to filming. So editing and everything requires a lot of self-control. That's my I don't know what it is. So if you don't have any filmmaking supplies, as long as you have a cell phone, you can create a film. As long as you have a cell phone, you can create a film. That's key. And I've seen nice films on cell phones, but the key is to hold your phone the proper way because you don't want it to give it that doorway look. You want it to give it that horizontal landscape look. That's the biggest mistake people make when they film. They hold the phone like this instead like this. And also, don't stress yourself when you make a film because you got to make a few bad ones before you make a good one. And every time you make a film, you're gonna say, "Oh, I should have did that," you know. But don't let that slow you down. Just keep in mind what you want to come. How do you want to come across? What story do you want to tell? And tell it clearly, and also leave room for people to see things that get time to read into things. People love to read into to analyze stories. So give them an opportunity to analyze. So that's why in some film classes, they teach you to have a theme or something like that. So, so it's good to have some kind of theme when you create a film. And have a theme, have a color scheme. Use everything to your advantage when it comes to filmmaking. Okay, thank you.